Welcome to the Nutty Nitty Sisters podcast, a podcast about knitting, spinning, and fiber-related creations. We're your hosts,
Julie
and Judith.
You can find us on social media as Nutty Nitty Sisters on Instagram, at Nutty Nitty Sisters on YouTube, and you can email us at nuttynittysisters@gmail.com.
If you're watching for the first time, welcome, and thanks for joining us.
If you're a returning viewer, welcome back, and thanks for returning. We'd appreciate it if you'd click the subscribe button below so you don't miss any broadcasts.
Click that bell, you'll be notified as soon as new videos are loaded.
Now, grab your knitting, find a comfy spot,
And let's get a little nutty. Hello, welcome back. Then, there we go. It has been a while since we were recording. I think I look back, it was 3 months ago, and it was the Maine Yarn Cruise haul video was the last video we were in person together.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of videos, especially December, but
Yes, that with the exception of Vlogmas, yes. But we weren't together for those.
right. Yep.
So, again, welcome if you are first time joining or a returning viewer. We appreciate it, and we hope you enjoy what you see here. I'm Judith.
I'm Jules.
There we go. So you've been introduced properly.
Formal introductions.
So we'll begin the podcast the way we usually do, with life in general. And what is going on with you in your life in general, Jules?
Life in general. Well, survived January.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a weird month. You're just getting through all the hubbub and the flurry of holiday, and then January comes around. It's like, is this month ever gonna be over? And then boom, it's February.
Yep.
Like, wait,
exactly.
Where did January go?
Yeah, I always enter January thinking, oh, it's going to be nice and relaxed. And then, like, it's almost crazier than December was. And then it's gone.
Yep.
So, yes, it is February here. It's February 9th. So we are getting on into February, too.
Yes, we are. Other than that, my grandsons are in Florida, so they're having a blast, sending me pictures and teasing me with the warmth and the beautiful sunsets and all the fun that they're having while I'm freezing my tuchus off.
It's cold here in Maine.
Yeah, other than that, it's just life as usual, work, work, work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
How about you?
Well, we survived December, just barely. Vlogmas was crazy. I missed half of it being sick. Had the COVID in early December, and then the flu right after Christmas. So yeah, I was good. I was very glad to kiss 2023 goodbye. Vlogmas was fun. Definitely will do it again next year, but I will probably do it a little differently because it was a lot.
Yes, it was.
I'm currently with no car. Samantha's Subi finally pooped out. Something wrong with the motor. The last I heard, they were supposed to get it looked at, torn the motor apart today. Not today, this week. And hopefully we'll find out whether or not it's worth fixing it or whether we should just junk it and try to get her for something new. But in the meantime, she's using my car. So I'm transportationless.
Woo.
It sucks.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go out that much, but when I want to, I want my wheels.
I know. There've been several times where I've been like, I wouldn't mind just, I leave work fairly early, around 2:30, so I wouldn't mind just running to the store, just anywhere.
Yep.
Yeah. It's definitely put a kibosh on things.
Yeah.
But I am on medical accommodation work from home again for the next year because I got so sick in December and people at work can't stay home when they're sick. So it's too risky for me.
Yep.
So I don't really need a car anyway. And one big life event that's happening is Lincoln and Dylan are wrestling. Lincoln wrestled last year and Dylan joined him this year. She's wrestling too. So that's been fun. If you've never been to a youth wrestling tournament, it's a trip. It's like 5 minutes. It depends on how quickly they pin their opponent, but sometimes a match can last like 5 minutes. And then it's like 25 minutes of waiting for their next match. So it's a lot of just sitting in the bleachers watching everybody else wrestle.
Knitting time.
Knitting time. And look who joins me in my knitting time.
Nice.
Miss
That's
Dylan
awesome.
insisted on taking her knitting with her this last tournament. And so we were caught by her mom knitting in the stands together.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we were having fun. So that is about it for life in general. Next is events. So let's talk about events. Let's catch up on some events since we last podcasted, Julie. We had the Yarnstash Restash with Anne Frost, and that's from Ithoughtiknewhow podcast. We'll leave all of her information in the description. Everything we talk about will be in the description box below. So that was a lot of fun. There is a playlist that is all of our videos during the Yarnstash Restash process. It was a heck of a process. For me, I gutted my entire room and reorganized and whew. So I'll include that up in one of these corners. Julie, you did a bit of Yarnstash restashing too, right?
I did. I could not do the whole thing this time. I got quite overwhelmed, and I just had to stop.
Yeah.
What I did do was great. I made it through. I think I made it through needles. It was just before we were going to start the yarn, I think, and I still don't have my room exactly where I want it to have my yarn where I want it. So I was just really overwhelmed thinking about, okay, I'm just going to do this and then I'm going to have to do it again in a little bit again. And I just did it again in the summer. That just kind of built up on me. And I said, no, I just can't do the yarn right now. But what I did do, especially going through the needles, was so helpful. Because I was
needles and notions.
Yes, needles and notions. I was able to figure out really what I need. I got rid of quite a bit that I didn't need. There was someone at work actually that was looking for yarn supplies. So I gave some away. I sold for very minimal cost, basically gave it away. A couple of things, but I was really able to take stock of what I have for needles, cables, for the interchangeable ones, what I have for straights, what I have for DPNs, all that kind of thing, and figure out how do I really want, what's the best way for me that I want to store and organize and use those supplies. So I was able to get my notions pared down. I've got them all in one place now, all in one place, which is awesome. I don't have to sort anywhere but this one place for notions now. I was able to, I don't care to have a notions bag in every project bag. I have one notions bag that is just my go-to for basically everything. And so I just was able to make sure that that notions bag has exactly what I want in it. I'll have exactly what I need every project. I was able to figure out what I liked to work with for needles and got rid of what I don't. What's the sense to have them if I don't enjoy using them?
Yep.
And I was also able to figure out a little better way for me for storage of my cables. That's one thing that really frustrates me, is
Me
having to
too.
try to figure out the length of that cable. Some of them, I can't remember which ones it is, whether it's the large, I think, on the ChowGoo cables. It does have the size etched on at the join, but like your minis do not. I don't think the smalls do. I may be wrong. They might.
You're
But
doing good to see the large because I can't see.
it's with a magnifying glass, and that's why it's such a pain. So I actually bought, and I didn't really intend to show these, but I'll grab them real quick. I found these sleeves that I thought I was going to put in. I have this little binder, and I'm using it as a journal. I thought what I would do is get one of the things you put in here that lets you make it into like a 3-ring binder situation. And then I found these sleeves that I was going to put in that binder. Well, it didn't make sense to me then to have my cables in still another place from my needles, because I have, I didn't make a banner because this is off the cuff. I didn't plan this. This is a Maxwell binder. It's from Magpie Fibers, and I absolutely love this. It is an investment. It's pricey, I will not lie. But all of my interchangeable needles are in this. The only exception is that I bought a couple of signature needles that I'll show later. And I did want to keep those completely separate. I wanted all my ChowGoo just in this one. These binder pages are amazing. Now all of my cables are numbered. I know exactly what length my cables are. And because I did the restash, I know where the holes are in my cable supplies. And these little sleeves just fit very nicely right in my Maxwell binder.
Oh, nice.
So I really do have all of my interchangeable needle supplies in one binder now.
Nice.
And this binder is, it folds up into a nice little, it has a little buckle here, folds up into one compact little place. And I love it, love it, love it.
I have been looking at either the Delaque binder thing, or what's the other one? Something in maple? Thread and maple?
Thread and maple, yes.
Thread and maple. I've been looking at theirs too. I really, really like the thread and maple.
Yeah.
The large, they have in stock right now their regular size one, but I want their large one because you can, it holds 5 of the little insert things.
Right.
And what I love about their inserts is, you know, it might be this big, but it folds in half and then it's this big. And I love that.
Yeah.
So if I want to take a set of needles with me, or, you know, they have a notions page, I can fold it in half and tuck it in a bag and go. And that, it's quite an investment, but I think that will really be worth it to have just one thing to have all of my tools in for knitting.
Yeah. That is very, very tempting. If I didn't already have the investment in that binder with my needles, I would be all over the thread and maple, because then all my needles would be in one place. Oh, DPMs, everything. But where I've already got that, that's working well. I do have DPNs are in their own cases. Like I have this the set of the ChowGoo DPNs, they're in their own case. My Lucas are in their own case. So and it's all with my notions. I have one drawer now, which is basically all my tools. So off on a tangent I went, but that's why the Yarnstash Restash I found very beneficial for that reason.
And I have a little notebook that I put everything. I go for the little, like a notions pouch for every project bag, because a lot of times I'll get a notions pouch for bag, and then, you know, this and that will go out of it and into it and whatever. And so to have a complete kit that I can just grab and put in my next project and then clean up the old kit later, So yeah, I have like a list of each one of my little notions pouches are missing just a couple of things out of them for them to be complete. And now when we go on the yarn cruise this year, I will have a list of things that I really need, not just want.
Right.
Yeah.
The wants can go
So
in there, but the needs will have to come first.
yes, exactly. Well, and a lot of times I will admit, a lot of times as we're on the whole purpose of the yarn cruise is to support local makers, local
Right.
yarn shops.
Mhm.
And sometimes I'll go into a shop and there's not really anything that tickles my fancy,
Mhm.
but I want to support them. So I invent a need.
There you go.
Now I have a need that will actually serve a purpose. So
Yep. Perfect.
yeah. So that was the Yarnstash Restash. I don't think we've had any real events. It's cold and winter here in Maine, so we haven't really been anywhere.
Right.
We do have an event coming up February 23rd and 24th, and 25th, right? NETA Spa.
Mhm.
Undecided whether we're really going or not. If we go, it might be a day trip. We don't really know. The thing about February in Maine is you got to be careful with the weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
It can be iffy.
we might or might not go. I've been considering like our posting schedule and trying to get a little bit more consistent with how we post videos. So when I get caught up with the breed study here, I'm going to get that on a regular schedule. So it's kind of like the first Monday of every month or something. And then we've talked about trying to get a little more consistent. Like when we started this podcast, we used to get together every 2 weeks, and it's impossible to do that all the time, but doing it virtually with this new recording software, we're hoping we'll be able to get some more consistent videos out to everyone. So definitely let us know in the comments what you think of this program, how we're doing things, and if you like it or if you have any feedback, we would appreciate it.
Yep.
So I think that is everything for events. Do you have any other events to speak of, Jules?
I do. I have 2 events that I'm kind of participating in, just like make-alongs, but I'll put it in with events.
Yes.
The Knits and Pieces ladies, Kelly and Noelle over on Knits and Pieces. They have the Knit Chat Cafe every Tuesday night, and they are doing a vest make-along. It is the make a vest, give sleeves a rest. Make-along is what they're calling it.
Yes.
And there's the hashtag on the screen there if you want to play along. They are doing whatever is considered to be something without sleeves. So it can be vest, slip over, whatever terminology you use for it. Basically something without sleeves. It's make a vest, give sleeves a rest. So no sleeves. And all the details, if you want to pop over to Knits and Pieces on YouTube, they do have a show notes link in their podcast or their live playlist. You watch any one of those live streams and it will give you the details on that, or check out the hashtag on Instagram. You can see what everybody's doing. Lots of Friday slipovers from Petite Knit. I'm doing the Riptide vest, which I am actually tinking a row right now. I got going and I just knitted a couple extra rows. So now I got to take those couple of extra rows out. But yeah, I'll talk about this more. There's a reason so many of us are doing this vest. So that's the first one. And then the second one I'm doing is with Kay Litton from the Crazy Sock Lady. She has a membership on her YouTube channel. So if you just look up Crazy Sock Lady on YouTube, she'll come right up. But she does offer a membership on that. And if you're in the membership, she also has a Facebook group for the membership. And there is a make-along going on in there, which is geared towards using, if you're making things out of your stash. So very laid back, just participatory kind of make along. But yeah, if you watch Crazy Sock Lady, the membership fee is very minimal. I watch every single one of her videos, so it's definitely worth a little bit of support for her there. And there's just a lot of fun going on. So you can definitely check out more about that on her YouTube channel if you'd like.
Cool, cool, cool. All right, on to FOs, right?
Yes.
All right, FOs. How many FOs do you have, Julie?
I have one full FO and I have a HFO.
A foe and a hoe.
A fo and a ho, yep.
I have 3 foes.
All right.
So I win.
You win, you first.
Okay. Whoops. Oh, I just lost a ball of yarn. Wait. Chasing yarn all over the place. Okay. First FO is my hold on. We got to get used to this newfangled thing here. I didn't talk about what I'm wearing.
Oh, and I'm not.
Tessellated
Well,
vest.
I am. I'm wearing fiber related.
Tessellated vest by Andrea Mowry. I think I've talked about this before, but give her her props. There she goes. All right. So my first FO is a Trifle wrap by Helen Stewart. And this is just scraps of fingering weight yarn held double with a mohair silk blend. Trying to remember who the maker of the yarn undyed lace weight super kid mohair and mulberry silk. So this was ginormous. It starts here and it keeps going and going and going and going. It is gorgeous though. It's nice and wide. It's like a schlanket. It's super cozy, super warm. It is absolutely amazing. I love it. I did finish it 75 rows early. I was just done.
It's so big already. It's plenty.
I know. Yeah. I couldn't do it anymore. So here's kind of a picture. You can see just how big it is.
Yeah.
And how cozy it is.
Yeah.
I do absolutely love it. It's like, it usually sits on the back of my office chair here, and I just wear it whenever it gets chilly in here.
Yeah.
Obviously the mohair is undyed. The other colors are just like scraps, all kinds of stuff I had. I started it on October 27th of 23 and I finished it January 9th of 24. I used 3 skeins of the kid mohair, 150 grams or 1,378 yards. It was a US size 7 needle, 4.5 millimeters. Yeah, that's about all I got to say about that. Next is I know. I've been quoting him a lot lately.
Oh gosh.
My next object, this was on a whim. It is cold in Maine. It's that time of year where I always have a hot water bottle tucked at the foot of my bed under my blankets for me to stick my feet on because my feet get cold in the winter. And when my feet get cold, they cramp. And it is absolutely excruciating. I mean, pain level 10.
Yep.
And having the hot water bottle in the bottom, like the foot of my bed, it's miracle cure if you have cramps in your feet. Absolute miracle cure.
Wow.
So I decided I wanted a cover for my water bottle. So my water bottle is just a cheap, Amazon rubbery thing. And the cover that it had on it was this really, really, really thin, like chenille kind of material. So it was so thin when I put my feet on it, my feet would burn.
Oh.
So I decided to knit.
There you go.
This is the Thusa Cozy. And here's a little picture from my project page. I
That
did
looks
make
like
it.
fun.
It's not actually.
No?
It's not.
Oh my
No.
gosh.
It's a little big for my water bottle. I think I made it a little too tall and the neck is a little too wide, but it is actually a yarn to die for design,
Mm.
DK frosted pine,
Ah.
held double with Dancing Pony Sheep Farm DK in her Demelza colorway. And these were scraps from other projects. So like it worked up in no time. It didn't dip into my, my stash that I would have for a bigger project. And it was so quick to knit. It really was. It was knit in the round. Initially I added two, I don't know if you can see right there, I added two buttonholes. I was going to have it a button bottom instead of a sewn bottom.
Oh, okay.
But I realized because I made it so big, my water bottle will actually come out the neck. If you fold the bottle in half, it'll come out the neck. So I don't really need to have the button bottom.
There you go.
So yeah, it's perfect.
That's cool.
And because it's all wool, it's nice and warm and cozy, and I absolutely love it.
And insulates and keeps that water hot longer.
Yeah, I'll put this under my before Mike goes to bed. He goes to bed about 8:30. I'll boil a kettle, put this under the bed or under the covers on my side of the bed, and by morning it's still warm.
Oh
My feet are still warm in the morning. Like you can pour the water off and it's still steaming.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
crazy. It keeps it
Wow.
so warm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. I didn't realize they would hold the heat that long.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I started that on January 8th. I finished it January 16th. So super quick and easy to knit. Oh, I forgot to change my, oops. See, here we go. Banner. There we go. It's by Hannah
Thiessen?
It is Thiessen, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that one. The last one is the Alamode by Brianne Matlage. I started getting Yarnable by Hypnotic Yarns probably about a year and a half ago, and I got it for about a year and then I stopped. So I've had this was one of the very first colorways I ever got, and the Alamode cowl was something that was suggested in the box. This skein of yarn has been sitting in a project bag almost for 2 years, waiting to get made into this pattern, and I finally did it. And it's so pretty.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
And I love the way the color kind of pooled in like a spiral almost.
Yeah.
It's so nice. And these cables are so pretty.
Oh, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Is that a 4 or a 6 interlacing?
It's only 2.
Really?
I think it's 2 and then it's 3. So yeah, you have 2 here, and then when you come back the other way, it's 3.
Oh, cool.
You have.
It looks like a lot more than that.
1, 2, 3.
Ah.
And then 1, 2 offset.
Yep.
It does look like more, but that's all it was.
Wow.
And it's 3 stitch cross, so 6 altogether for 1 cable.
Yep.
And then you also have these little mini cables here that are only like 1 stitch.
Oh yeah.
All the way down there.
Cool.
It was so fun to make. I started it on January 19th and finished it January 22nd.
Oh wow.
So literally only a few days.
Yeah.
I used a size 6 4mm needle. It's DK. The colorway is Apple Crisp. It only used 72 grams of a 100 gram skein of the plush DK. I'll show you a few photos of my old mug. It's very small, but I like it that way.
Yeah.
like some cowls I like to really hug my neck.
Mm-hmm.
Others I do like to have a little drape and hang down a little bit, but this one I was really looking for that hug, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, good. Your show.
Okay, let's see. So the first one, what did I have here? I don't have a banner for this one. And I got to stand up for this one. So this, and I won't be able to get the whole thing in. But this
It's huge.
It is. It really is. It's my Advent blanket, finally. This is yarns from A Yarn to Die For Designs. So she's no longer in business, but this was her 2022?
Yes.
2022 Advent, which was based on the Polar Express. And I did the colors all in order as they came out of the Advent. So I don't know whether I have it first to last or last to first, the way I'm hanging it. I can't remember. But yeah, it's very long. It goes and it goes and it goes and it goes. I am so happy with it. It's garter.
It looks so squishy.
Oh, I mean, I don't know if you can see, but look at it bounce.
Yeah.
It's crazy how squishy and bouncy
gosh.
it is. And then this, I debated whether I was going to do this, and I am so glad I did. I think it helps to keep a bit of the stretch from happening, even though I tried to do it loose, but I did an I-cord border, and I am so happy with that I-cord.
That looks so nice.
It just really finished the blanket. It did not look done to me. And I put that I-cord border on there, and it really made it look finished.
Yeah.
So, oh my gosh, I love this blanket. Like you said, it's back of the chair. I wrap up in it, and I am warm in 2.2 minutes.
Yes.
So I'm very, very happy with that.
Love it.
And then the other item is a hoe, because it's a hoe. I don't have it on a sock blocker, but you'll get the idea. This was the January Yarnable colorway. What was it called? Do I remember? Of course I do.
Excuse me.
Here is her label. So this is from Hypnotic Yarn, Yarnable. And this was How Time Flies on her plush sock base. There's a reason it's called plush sock. It's very soft, very squishy. And
So pretty.
it is so pretty. It's just a vanilla sock. I just basically did, what did I do? I did 20 rounds for the cuff, 60 rounds for the leg, slip stitch, heel flap and gusset, 60 rounds for the foot, and then the toe. And I love it.
It's so pretty. It almost looks Christmassy.
Almost, but it's really very pinky purpley. So
yeah,
not completely a Christmas vibe.
Brown or black in there?
It's a real olivey green.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So it could definitely be Christmassy socks, but it could definitely be year round as well.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love
them.
Nice. That's so pretty.
And yeah, the other one is, it's getting there, but I got a ways to go. I'm almost done with the leg.
I've got to do more socks.
I just am loving it. I just pick it up. I mean, Crazy Sock Lady, she always says 5 minutes. You'd be surprised what happens in 5 minutes. And she's so right. She's so right. So
I've got 3 sputters going at the moment though, so I don't know where I'm going to squeeze in a sock.
Yep. So that's my FOs.
Right. So that takes us, I believe, into whips.
Oh,
so I have 4 active whips and 1 hibernated.
I basically have 3 that I'll call active. No, I do have 4 active whips that I've knit on, we'll say, in the past month.
No, I have 4 total, including the hibernated one. So
Oh.
we'll go back and forth, tit and tat.
Okay.
Start with the hibernated one and just get that one out of the way. So this is my hibernated whip. It's my Seaglass sweater. And I did get the body finished and I tried it on and I hate it.
Oh.
I hate the neck and the hem. I don't think the yarn is correct for those. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to have to do something. The rest of the sweater I love. It's all hand spun, and wait till you see it.
Oh, I love it. Oh.
But look at that hem.
Yeah, that's not the right yarn.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't think you could even go down a couple of needle sizes. Then it's going to be so stiff. You're not going to like it.
Yeah, and I did go down a needle size.
Yeah, you can't make that yarn work.
No, this is the second time I've tried it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm just going to have to pick out here. Pick out, cut this, and then graft on a new neck with a different yarn. Yeah. And then this is easy, and the hem's easy enough because it's a top down.
Right.
Just
you can just
undo
stitches and take out the rest.
Yep. Other than that, I love the rest of it. You're
gonna love the sweater.
Pretty.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna love the sweater.
Oh yeah, but I'm mad at it. So there it is. It's on hibernation until I can fix it, and there's way too much other stuff to knit to faff with it. So what is your first whip?
Well, the sock, I would say,
is
the one. Yep. I've been working on that one probably the most because I keep it right beside me at the desk. So if I'm in a meeting, I'm knitting on it, just, whenever I can throw a few minutes on it here and there.
Yep. I do have one pair of socks as a whip, but they're not mine. It is the Tricerasocks.
Yep.
Oops. Let me see. I didn't do Seaglass sweater. It's wool and pine. If you haven't heard of it, that's where it comes from.
Yep.
So Tricerasocks is by Bermudez. And look, they're so cute. They're like little stores. So I do have one sock done.
Cute.
So I don't have all the extras on it except for the ruffle. So that's like the ruffle. Here's his mouth. And I do have the feet. These are all of the feet.
I love how those details are on it because you wouldn't have to have put those on there. It could have but those little feet make it.
They make it. They're so cute. You can tell this is the back leg.
Yeah.
And this is a little front leg. So those will go on it, and then I have to get some white yarn to do the little horns. And then I'm very close. Oh,
you are.
Yeah, I'm very close on that. I've got the leg done, and I just need to finish off the foot and then put the ruffle on him, and that'll be done. Those are being made for Kayla, and that is made out of, I don't know if I have a yarn label. It's Barocco Remix Light, and the colorway is Fern. Oh, lost a needle.
That's a nice green. I like that green.
Yeah. The original pattern is more like a yellowish color.
Yeah.
But she wasn't having that. She wanted green, so that's what we did. So what's your next whip, Jules?
Oh, it's my Riptide vest. And I don't think I put up the information about it last time. It's actually called the Riptide Slipover. And it's by Jennifer Shields Toland, which is JST Designs. And I've been tinking, so I'm trying to arrange the needles here so maybe you can see some of it. This is the back, and let's see, there we go. So it's the back, and you increase so this flares out a bit on the edges here. And sorry, it's so hard when I'm in the middle of the row. There, kind of. I love this pattern. It is so easy. And it's so easy that you just get going and going. And I'm thinking because of that, I just
kept knitting
rows. But yeah, it's a really great little detail. I love it. It's on the back and it's on the front. The pattern is absolutely amazing. I usually, when I try something that has a new stitch pattern to me, something I haven't done before, there's a period of frustration, a period of me figuring out what the heck the pattern is trying to tell me to do and how it's supposed to look. And I just have to fiddle my way through it until it clicks in my head.
Yeah.
All I had to do was read this. And I had it. As soon as I did that first repeat, there was nothing to it. It was so good. Her patterns are they're intuitive. They make sense. They're logical. I mean, it just really good pattern. So yeah, I wouldn't hesitate. I mean, I'm only on the back right now, but so far so good. And I don't think I would hesitate to pick up any one of her patterns and give it a shot. It's just really good. The yarn I'm using is from Nomad Yarn. It's their undyed, and it is their Marshmallow DK Select Base. So it's really nice. I really like.
I like Nomad's yarns. I really do.
I've had just a handful of times where it has split on me, but it's mostly been my own fault, no fault of the yarn. But it's really, I love the spin on it. It's just a great yarn, and it's giving me great stitch definition.
Yeah.
Too. So I really like it. I mean, I think if I was a dyer, I'd be trying it as a base. So
what was it I used for our advent?
The DK.
Marshmallow DK?
That was
yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
And it turned out fabulous. Absolutely fabulous.
Takes up dye wonderfully.
Yeah. That's probably been one of my real active whips too. I just need to put that beside me more often to get.
Yeah.
It just takes a little more concentration, obviously, because I can just keep on knitting.
Yeah. My next whip is one that I do mainly at home for that same reason. Like a lot of the rows are just stockinette in the round, so it's just knit. But there are a series of rows that are lace in mohair.
Yep. And nobody
and that
thinking that.
that I can't. I put it down because I'm getting into where it starts the lace repeat, and I can't do it while I'm doing anything else. I've got to concentrate when I do it. Yep. But it is. Whoops, that's not it. It's the Lace and Fade Boxy by Joji Locatelli, and it is turning out
pretty.
Oh God,
it is. It's so pretty.
I am absolutely loving it. It is so fun to knit. I am a little bit concerned about the arms, but
they are supposed to be snug. I've heard a lot of people saying the arms will be snug. They're supposed to be snug.
Yeah, and
because they start like at your elbow, right?
Exactly. Yeah, I was looking at how it fits on Joji, and it starts like the boxy part of it actually comes down to about here, and the sleeves are really just from the top of your elbow down to like bracelet length or shorter, 3/4 length. So when I tried it on, it is a little bit. It's up a little bit further than I kind of want it to be, and it's a little snug, but it is Homespun Girls yarn, and it's a fingering weight. I think it's got good stretch.
Yep.
I think it's one of those things that I can block it. to get it where I want it to be, and it won't be that much of a problem.
And it's just a touch snug. When you pick up, just pick up like 4 stitches.
Yeah.
Quadrants, just to give it that tiny little bit more.
Yeah. I think what I'm going to do is actually pick up, because I have meaty arms. I am going to pick up more stitches. I'm going to pick up stitches for the size up from what I'm actually knitting for the body. So my sleeves will be a little bit bigger, and hopefully that will account for, you know, for the snugness of the boxy part of it. I saw on a few project pages that people did that. They might have knit a size 6, but they did the sleeves. They picked up for sleeve on a size 7. So hoping that will fix it. So I am knitting this in Homespun Girls yarn Maine Summer Sock. It's 80% 80/20 superwash merino and nylon. 462 yards, 100 grams, finger and weight. And then the lacy bits in between are Mohair Silk Supreme, 72/28 mohair silk, lace weight for 459 yards, 50 grams. And the colors are Autumn Sunset is the mohair. So pretty, right? From bottom to top. So I haven't actually got this color on there yet. This is Farmer's Wife, a brown, and I actually did my gauge swatch in that. Yes, I gauge swatched. And look how pretty it knits up.
That is so.
Isn't that nice? It's like chocolate latte. It's so pretty. And then the next color is Bucks Harbor Green. And then Irish Moss. And then this is 2022 Machias Fiber Festival colorway. And then she had the same colorway, but in a light version. So you can see it's just a little bit lighter. And so that's the top. And they go so good together. It's turning out so great.
Yeah.
I
love it.
Wait to get it done. Oh, I have one more whip, but you have one more, yes?
Oh, actually I have, 2 more.
Okay.
So this one I don't have banner for, but another blanket. I loved that Advent blanket, and so I decided that that's what I was going to do with the Advent that I got from Judith. And this has not had knitting on it for a little bit now, but it is still in the active column because it needs to be knit on a little bit here and there. Where is my, I'm in the middle of a row. Sorry. I want to get this done. The idea is to have this done like late spring, early summer, because I'm doing the blanket with just all of the Advent so that I have the whole Advent in one project. I'm doing it in the order that the yarn was opened, and it's my own design. I wanted to really showcase the yarn, so it's all just stockinette stitch where the colors are. And then the border is just a garter stitch border. And I'm doing the side borders as I'm knitting.
So rather than picking up stitches going all the way around, you're knitting the borders as you go.
I am.
Cool.
So when I get done, I will be done.
Yeah.
And this is one where I thought I might want to put an I-cord border on it, but now that I've got some done to it, I don't think I'm going to. I think that border is going. I don't think it's going to need it. I think that border is going to finish it off just fine. It's been a little bit fiddly because I've been very fussy. It does get a little bit fiddly here where you transition from this garter to this stockinette. So I have been, at first I ripped back several times and I didn't like the look. It still had too much of a holy look, and it wasn't laying flat, and I just wasn't happy with it. But now that I've got going some on that, I am just absolutely loving this. And if I could get it done by the end of spring, beginning of summer, I would love to figure out how to get this out as a pattern and have it available for Advent knitting this Christmas.
I love it.
Yeah.
And can I tell you, like, I get why it is so fun to dye yarn, because not only did I have a freaking amazingly fabulous fun time dyeing that yarn and coming up with the names that were all themed around "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
Yep.
But seeing it knit up, oh my God, how satisfying is that? I love it.
Amazing.
I see why these people dye yarn for a living. It is it's like my baby.
Me. I did that.
My baby grew up and look what it became.
Love it. And I'll give everybody a sneak peek. There's the colors.
There they all are. Mine are still in little mini skeins in a bag somewhere. I haven't even started anything with them.
Yep. So I was on it constantly. Of course, I resubscribed. Oh, so sorry. I resubscribed to Yarnable this year, and I had that coming. I definitely did not keep up with the momentum I had with it in December, but now I've got things organized a little bit better. I don't have the pressures and the other things coming at me, so it's definitely a pick up and go again.
I'll have to remember next podcast to show you, to bring and show Kayla's granny square. I gifted an advent to my daughter Kayla, and she crocheted granny squares and put it all together in this beautiful little lapgan. And then the big skein that I did at the end, she did all around as the border, and it turned out so cute. I'll have to show it next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool.
Yep.
My last WIP is my last active WIP. The only time I knit on it is at wrestling meets, because it's just stockinette back and forth. It's knit, purl, and it's so easy. But it is, the pattern is, here we go. Baseball by Karen Lance. This is the pattern.
Oh, neat.
It's kind of like a baseball jersey sweater.
Yeah.
And I am knitting it in the colors of my grandkids' school. Their the school is Bucksport, so it's purple, and then the sleeves are going to be this gold.
Cool.
Yeah. So it is knit the back and then the front and then the sleeves, and you sew it all together. But I'm having so much fun with it because it's just, I can not watch. I can watch the wrestling meet and knit, and it's so easy. I get a row or two here and there while I'm working, but mostly it's just take to wrestling meets. So it's a quick, easy knit there. So yeah, that is that. It is Cascade 220 worsted. The purple is Concord grape, and then the gold is goldenrod. And yeah, that's it.
Cool.
I don't know the needle because I didn't write it in my book, but I'm sure I'll share it when I finish it. That is all my WIPs. I think I do have a couple of other, like a couple of charity crochet blankets, but they're just like basic granny square blankets, made out of acrylic, and I'm trying to get those done, but that's a slow process. Any more WIPs for you?
I have one more. And this one has been a whip in progress since last year. I don't know. It's a temperature blanket for my granddaughter.
Oh,
And I'm
yeah.
doing it in the colors of the year that she was born. This thing's getting big. I am only into August. I don't know. It's going to be huge.
Oh, it's so pretty.
We had a really hot year that year.
We did.
A lot of reds and oranges.
We did.
We really did. I have a color in here that is a little bit of, you probably won't be able to see the sparkle, but that's the day she was born. So it's a little bit of a sparkle color. And in between each month, I'm doing an eyelet row so I can tell where the months are. So yeah, it's all of that.
Wow.
And like I say, I'm only in August and it's really going to be long. I didn't make it terribly wide, but it definitely covers over me. So it's definitely wide enough and it's definitely going to be long enough. The one thing I'm not too thrilled about is all this mess.
Yeah.
Ugh. But to get the look I wanted out of it, I couldn't just do one row. I had to do over and back to really get the effect of the color, especially, you know, on a day where you were going from one color to another color to another color.
Yeah.
If I had done the one pass, you wouldn't have even been able to see that color.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just have, occasionally I wove the ends in as I went, and occasionally, a lot of occasionallys, I didn't.
Have to have a weaving in party.
Yeah, or I may just do an I-cord border around this too.
Why not?
This, however, I'm aiming to have done by May. So we'll see. And I did a program on my computer where I set up an Excel spreadsheet and I figured out how wide I wanted to make the blanket, how many stitches per inch I was going to be knitting with based on the needle size for the yarn that I wanted to use. And then I used Excel formulas to calculate how much yarn. So every day I have the temperature and it calculated, okay, what's the total number of days in this color? And how many yards do you need for one day of that color? So it calculated out for me how many yards of each color I was going to need. Made it super easy to go buy yarn then. I packed a bit because I didn't want to run out, of course, but at least I knew that ballpark. And if I padded with an extra ball of yarn, then I should be good to go. And I'm knitting it out of Plymouth Encore DK.
I love their DK.
Yeah, it's really a great yarn. For a kid, needs to be easy care. For mom, it needs to be easy care. So it's a good yarn. It's 75% acrylic, but it does have 25% wool in it too. So it's going to be warm as well, but it's going to be easy care.
It's warm and it's not squeaky like a lot of the acrylic yarn.
Some of them are very plasticky.
Yeah, and that doesn't have that squeaky plasticky feel.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, having fun with that.
Lovely.
Yeah.
All right. Any more whips?
Just old moldies.
Old moldies. I got 18 of those.
Yeah. I think I've got still 9 sitting that need attention at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So on to future projects. All right. I don't have a whole lot in the future planned. I'm really kind of concentrating on getting these 2 sweaters done and Kayla's socks done. And then I think to kind of palette cleanse, I have Robin's 2022 Advent. I made a wrap out of. It was the one where I rolled the dice as like choose your own adventure kind of knit. Yeah. And I had a bunch of leftovers and I want to make a pair of socks out of those leftovers. I'm going to do toe up and just do them not 2 at a time, but in tandem, you know, one here and one here. I did that several years ago with another one of her advents, and it worked really well to do, like, you do 3 or 4 rounds on one, and you do 3 or 4 rounds on another, and you just kind of go from the inside and outside of a ball, and you go until the yarn's gone. Do that toe up, and then just use up all of that yarn. So that's the next pair of socks that I'm going to do for myself. I need more socks in my life. I have quite a few that I've mended and mended and mended, and I wear the heck out of my socks. I think if I have more in my drawer, I won't wear the same ones over and over again. So definitely need to have more socks. So there'll be more socks in the future, but the first one is those Advent socks. And then after that is Sunset Diamonds. It's a pattern by Expression Fiber Arts. It's a beautiful, like, gradient shawl. It's a crocheted shawl, which I've never crocheted a shawl before. So, and it's made out of their, something with silk in it. It's a really silky, shiny, beautiful yarn. So that will be next. And then, like I said, more socks. Next month is what I call March Mendness, where you mend all the holes in your socks. And I have a few. Like I said, I'm rough on the socks. So I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs of socks that need mending. These don't really need mending, but they're getting quite thin here where I tend to wear my socks. Yeah, so before it becomes a hole, I'm gonna put some reinforcement in that. And then,
are you gonna do the, like, Swiss darning, like the duplicate stitch?
No, I do this, and I'll have to include the link below. I use a method from Jana from Purl Together. I think the name of the video is Darn It.
Oh.
And she knits this really cool little patch. Let me see. Yeah, here. This one is one of hers. This is using her method. This one blew out. I made the patch quite big enough. So I'll have to do this one again. So that's one of the ones that's going to be knit. And then I even did one on a heel here.
Oh, yeah.
So it makes kind of a knitted patch. You still have on the inside, you still have the hole.
Oh, okay. So you're just covering the hole.
Yeah, and it just kind of felts.
Yep.
With the patch, and it works perfectly.
Yeah.
This was a Frankenstein of a couple methods.
Oh, okay.
But I do like that one the best. Yarn sock, which I absolutely love these socks, but they just keep blowing out. It's always like right where that repair is. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to get a moleskin sole sew on the bottom of this.
Yep.
So they're slippers. And then this huge catastrophe. Oh my gosh, I don't know what I'm going to do.
Wow.
This was hand spun, no reinforcement, just straight up wool, no nylon or nothing. And I should have known better.
Yep.
And this is its sister sock.
Oh, yeah. We're thin.
I told you I was rough on my socks. So that'll be March Madness.
Yep.
And that is all my future knits. What have you got in the future, Julie?
Future knits, I have. There's the first one that I want. It's called A Place of Peace Shawl. It's by Joji Locatelli. Obviously available on Ravelry. I didn't crop the photo or anything. And I just, when she first was showing this in process, she was working on it in her podcast, I just fell in love with those little tassels. I may hate them when I have to do them, but I just think it's so interesting. It looks so cool on that shawl. And the shawl is, the darker colored triangles there that you see in the picture are actually 2 yarns worked together in there. And then the other lighter triangle piece is just mohair or whatever fuzzy yarn you want. These are the yarns that I've decided I'm going to use. So these are the two that I'm going to use for the dark triangle pieces to give a little bit of contrast between them. And those are actually, I should show that. That's Giddy Ant Yarns. I think she's still dying. I'm not 100% sure. Haven't heard about her for a bit. This is Biscuit is the colorway. And that's on an MCN 4-ply fingering. So that'll be soft. And then this one is a Heritage, Cascade Yarns Heritage. That is 75/25 wool nylon. And it's a beautiful brown, dark brown. Love that. Mm. And then this is actually a Surrey. I don't enjoy wearing mohair. I can wear it, but I don't enjoy wearing it. I much prefer Surrey. So yes, this is the young alpaca, 74%. And 26% silk. It's the colorway is Fairy Ring, and it's from 3 by the Sea. It is, oh my gosh, I absolutely love this base. I
can't tell the difference between the alpaca and the mohair silk.
I don't know what it is about the mohair. I don't want to call it itchy or scratchy, but it just has and it's not prickle either. I don't know how to exactly describe it. I think it has something to do with static electricity.
Oh, could be. Yeah.
I don't feel this, and I have not had trouble when I've wound the young alpaca into a ball. I haven't had nearly as much trouble with static.
Yeah, I have noticed with the mohair, even mohair silk blend, when you're winding it, when it's done, the cake goes ding.
Yes. So I'm thinking maybe that has something to do with it. I don't go out in thunderstorms because I'm afraid I'll attract the lightning.
Yeah, right. The human lightning rod.
Right. So yeah, that's at the top of my queue in Ravelry right now. I just think it's a very beautiful shawl. I don't wear shawls nearly as often as I probably should because I've knit several of them, but that one and that rectangle shape, I do like that rectangle shape. So.
Yeah, I've been very drawn to more wrap kind of constructions than the triangular shawl, the typical shawl construction.
Yep. Right now is another Hohi pattern. This one is the Elton, and this is just a beautiful cardigan, and it's so light. Again, it's with fingering and something Surrey mohair with it. And I got, I don't have it close enough. I'll show it on another one. I got yarn from Dun Roving Yarns. Back when I had my shop, I had one skein of her yarn in this colorway that it just blew me away. It's a beautiful, beautiful, I call it Tahitian sunrise or Tahitian sunset. It's just, that's what I think of. I don't.
It's like a pink and a peach, right?
Pink and almost like a neon coral kind of color. They're just, it's beautiful.
And doesn't it have flecks of brown in it too?
That's, yes. Well, the original one really didn't. That one skein that I had, and when we went on the yarn cruise, I took that skein of yarn to her and said, "Suppose you could replicate this." And of course, Paul is always up for a challenge.
Yes, she is.
She thought, I thought it had probably been a previous colorway. She thought that it had been a custom color. So she said she probably couldn't get it exactly, but she was definitely willing to try and see if she could do it. So yeah, she dyed it. I'll have to show it next time, because it came out very close, but she did put a little bit of a taupey brown color in it too, and it really added some more interest to the yarn. I'm pairing it. This all sparked from this, and I mean highlighter pink. If you can visualize the neon highlighter.
Barbie pink.
Yes.
Barbie pink.
It's a skein of the young alpaca and silk. And it's from Fiberstash. It's a true Barbie neon pink yarn. And I wanted to do something with it, but I knew I wouldn't wear something entirely in that color. But I saw this cardigan and thought, if it just had the stripes of that neon pink and had something else to kind of temper the fluorescence of the pink and so much pink, and that yarn she dyed is just it's gonna work really well, because it's got that hint of taupey brown here and there. It's got that vibrant coral and a little bit toned down pinks. It's just really gonna be nice, I think, in that sweater. So that is number 2 in my queue.
Is that all your future knits or future projects?
It is. I have a tote that has, I mean, a ton. I don't even know.
Yeah.
But a ton of kits in it.
Yeah.
So if I do need, at a loss, which I cannot imagine ever being at a loss for a project to cast on, I really do need to work some of those kits up. So I have put 1 or 2 in my queue. I get overwhelmed with too big of a Ravelry queue.
Yeah.
So I have scaled it down a lot to not so many projects in that queue. And I'm just adding one of those kits in the queue here and there. And hopefully I will not put something ahead of them. And when they bubble to the top, I'll do them.
That's really the problem. That's why I was looking at my queue the other day, and I have things that have been in my queue since 2019.
Yep.
That have just been waiting to be done. And
Yep.
But then the new things come along, and it's hard not to get tempted. And I really beat myself up last year because I had like 28 whips that I really wanted to get done, and I kept casting on the new shiny things, and I berated myself so badly. And I just decided, you know what? Life is too short to beat yourself up over knitting.
Yes.
Knit what you want to knit what you love, knit what makes you happy. And if I get to the whips that are in the basket over there since 2019, as long as they're done before I'm, horizontal in the ground,
pushing up,
that's a win. That's a win. So
yep,
I'm not beating myself up over it anymore. I'm just going to knit what I want.
Yep, that's what it's all about.
All right. Well, I think next is spinning.
And now for the Judith show.
No spinning out of you, Jules.
Because
I get to crack a lacking on that.
Oh, I know. In all my spare time.
I know. I'm right there with you. I hear you. So the majority of my spinning, let me take that back. All of my spinning has been a breed study that I'm doing with Maine Fiber Workshop. Kendra is absolutely amazing. I met her at a fiber event. I think it was New Hampshire. I can't remember. We met her.
Fiber Frolic.
It might have been Fiber Frolic. It might have been Fiber Frolic. I remember you were like, "Oh, Judy, breed study," and I'm like,
I'm pretty sure it was Fiber Frolic.
Yeah. Okay. So I have been knitting along in a breed study, and I am absolutely loving the process of learning about not so much the fiber, but the sheep. I like learning about the animal. So far we have spun lonk, which I made the multicolored pillow out of. I spun Teeswater into a 2-ply lace weight that I'm going to do a beautiful peacock wedding shawl out of someday.
Woo.
And then so that was August and September. So this one was August, September, October. This was October's fiber, and it is a Cormo.
Oh.
Everyone loves a Cormo, right?
Yeah.
And look how pretty it is. Oh
It
my
is.
gosh. It looks
Cornrow
so
is
good.
so it's the definition in it.
Yes.
It's so pretty.
So I actually did a chain ply, a three
Oh
ply
yeah.
chain ply. I'm not very good at chain plying, but it turned out a bit of all right, I think.
Yeah, it did. It did well.
It came out to 10 wraps per inch. This one's 10 wraps per inch and this one's 11. Close enough. They're
Oh
worsted.
yeah. Oh yeah.
This one is 119 yards and this one is 219 yards. This one's 218 yards.
Wow, those are two
course.
almost identical skeins.
Yeah. So nice. The second one, the fourth one, this is November's breed, is Zwartless, or I guess it's pronounced Zvort. The W is a V. It's Zwartless.
Wow.
So this is a beautiful brown, like a super deep dark chocolate brown.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so pretty.
It is.
I was surprised at how much this grew, how much it puffed after it was washed. It is Aran weight. It's kind of like borderline Aran worsted. It's 8 to 9 wraps per inch. This one is 169 yards, and this one is 123 yards.
Oh, I love that twist on it.
It's 2-ply. I did this one on a Louette, and I realized my Louette bobbin will not hold 8 ounces of yarn.
Yeah, you had it pretty packed.
It was a chubby bunny.
Yeah.
So when I wound it off onto the Nitty Knotty, I decided to split it into 2 because it would have just been this big chubby baby. Yeah. And I also ended up with just a little bit left over, just a little baby mini skein to go with.
So cute.
The next one is BFL, every spinner's favorite, right? That's like a staple. But it was a humbug blend, so like brown and white together. This was December's breed study, and she included a pattern called Dune Infinity Scarf. It's her own pattern.
Oh, pretty.
And so I decided I don't have a whole lot of blue accessories in my wardrobe. So I decided I was going to leave one skein plain, undyed, and dye one. So they both came out at 10 wraps per inch worsted weight. This one is the natural one, the undyed. See how nice and heathered that is?
Yeah.
So I thought when I dyed this, I'm going to get a nice heathered color, right? This one is 208 yards, and the one that I dyed is 180 yards.
Oh, so pretty.
I love it.
Look at how you got the variation in there with the different base tones.
Yeah, you can really see like the really blue and then with the darker fiber.
Yeah, definitely.
God, I'm in love with it.
Yeah.
I'm in love with it.
Absolutely.
It is going to be such a pretty. Now, I don't think it's going to have enough yardage in her pattern. It calls for 250 yards of 2-ply, but I seem to think it was a DK, and mine's worse. So I don't know. I'll look at the pattern. I may have to like make it thinner instead of so thick. Or
is that one a
not
triple
quite as
wrap
long.
or a double wrap?
It doesn't say.
Can you tell from the picture?
I think it's double.
Okay.
I think it's double.
It looks like it's probably double, yeah. So if you didn't mind a little snugger, you could make it thinner, but it looks like it's fairly narrow there anyway.
Okay, it's 6.5 wide and 26 long, doubled, 52 before grafted together.
Oh, okay. So you graft it together. Oh, you could definitely play with it and figure out.
Yeah, I'm sure I can.
Yeah.
But yeah, worst case scenario, I could always do this.
Mm-hmm.
I could do part of it in one color and part of it in the other.
Yes. Do a half.
And then, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's spinning. But we were talking earlier about I am in this loophole in my stash where I can't spin anymore because I don't have room for any more yarn. But I need to get through my fiber stash because I don't have any more room for my fiber stash. So I need to knit faster so I can spin more, so I can knit more, so I can spin. It's ridiculous.
Well, anytime you have trouble with not enough room for yarn, fun yarn.
You'll take it, right?
Oh,
You're
I'll
such
help
a
you.
giver, Jules.
I'll help you right out.
So the next spin is January's fiber. I'm about to get February's. February's should come next week, but I'm still working on January. This is January. I haven't even started researching it yet, but this is January.
Ooh, what's that one?
It is very close to like merino or cormo. It's from Chile. It's called Punta Arenas. I'm assuming you roll the R, Arenas. I don't know.
Wow.
But it looks very much like, it feels very much like merino or Corriedale.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know. I haven't done any research whatsoever on it, but
from Chile. That's interesting.
Yeah. And she gave us, we had a little Zoom meet up with the breed study participants, and she gave us a little sneak peek at next month's fiber, at February's fiber.
Ooh.
I can't wait.
Cool.
So that is it for spinning. We'll go on to miscellaneous makes. So what do you have for miscellaneous makes, Jules?
Well, my other big hobby right now, and probably will always be because I'm absolutely in love, is my orchids. I love orchids. They remind me of Hawaii and Fiji, which are my like two favorite places in the world, I think. And I just have been smitten since the first time I was gifted an orchid. See if I can navigate this. I don't know if I am good at this or not. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm in there. So I took a picture for you of my designated orchid area, which is nothing terribly fancy, but it is somewhat of a climate control area. And so these are my orchids minus one. I have one that I have in a special area because it's needing a little TLC right now. But that is my collection at the moment. Nothing huge, but I love it. This is a picture of my very first orchid, and it's kind of at the end of its blooming session right now. Basically right below the little green clip there, it had blooms all along that spike. And these blooms are about 3.5 inches across now. They're huge blooms every time this blooms. It just gets bigger and bigger. It was originally a very turquoise blue colored flower when it was given to me by my sister Janine, and it was dyed because when it rebloomed again, it was this natural color. The lights that I have, the grow lights, give it kind of a pinkish cast, but it is a very white blossom with just tinges of pinky purpley color in there, and then the yellow orangey center. So a very traditional Phalaenopsis orchid. And so I go from my oldest orchid to here is my youngest orchid.
Little baby.
This is my baby. I got this as a seedling last year. Seedlings are much less expensive to purchase. Not that orchids are crazy, crazy expensive. Some are, but some can be quite pricey if you buy them a mature orchid, where if you buy them as a seedling, they're much more affordable. But you usually have to wait a couple of years to see any results from a seedling. And it can be tricky to get that mature orchid. They sometimes don't make it from seedling to maturity. This one has been giving me a little bit of grief. It hasn't been looking terribly healthy. I thought, I may not make it with this one. It might not make it to maturity, but you can see just a little bit of a poke up out of that leaf there in the center, and that is a spike. So that there is another, they're called pseudobulbs. You can see one there in the front. That's the first pseudobulb from the seedling. When I first got it, it created another one, grew another one behind that. And that's what that little spike is coming out of. So I'm a very proud mama seedling that's growing up. And then back to the orchid area. This is that top shelf. This is looking at the left side. This is just a grocery store orchid. I got this from our local grocery store, and this is its rebloom for me after I purchased it at the store in bloom. And this spike is even bigger and fuller with more buds you can see coming yet. The blooms are bigger. Everything is bigger and better about it. So it's liking its environment, which makes me very happy. You can just barely see down in the bottom right corner there. That's the little seedling I just showed you with the spike. Behind there is a Cattleya orchid, which is another seedling. It's still growing, trying to mature. And then this is the right side of that shelf. The one in bloom there is it's a rescue. I went to Lowe's and they had a discount shelf with some orchids that were clearanced. I picked this up for, I think, $4. And the poor thing had a spike on it, but the buds were all dried, and they call it bud blast when they get to that point. It gets all dry and will not go any further. It was bone dry, but it was the best looking one of the bunch. And I had this orphan syndrome take over me. I could not rescue it. So I took it out to the garden area, snuck some water from their hose out in the garden area to make it home with. And I guess it's saying thank you for the rescue. It's very happy. I've never had one give me 2 spikes in bloom. And this is the first rebloom from when I got it. And it is all over the place blooming.
It's happy you brought it home from the plant shelter.
Yes.
That's what I watched. I watched Darcy and Jer on YouTube. They're hilarious. And Darcy is a plant obsessive plant-ish horticulturist. Is that what they're called? And he calls it the plant shelter.
Yes. And this was definitely not a no-kill shelter. They were in every bit of the throes of killing.
Oh Lord.
So it had to come home.
Yeah.
The one in the front there is another species, another type hybrid, not Tolumnia. Yes, Tolumnia. It is a seedling as well. So I have probably got another year. I have seen no signs. It's had plenty of new growth fans. This variety gets fans. And there are plenty of new growth fans going on there, but nothing suggesting any blooms yet. But we'll get there. And then this one is one of my latest acquisitions. It's not very pretty right now, but this is like people that collect orchids, they all have one of these in their collection. It's called the Cherry Baby, and it is the chocolate orchid. So if you've ever heard of the chocolate orchid, that's what this is. When it blooms, the flowers smell like chocolate. They have a fragrance to them and they smell like chocolate. So none of my currently blooming orchids have any fragrance. So I'm very much looking forward to having a orchid that smells. believe it or not, this orchid came from Hawaii, and it came in spike. That spike was shipped from Hawaii, 0 damage. That nursery knows what they're doing. It was packed so well. It was supposed to arrive in 2 days, FedEx overnight. It was delayed 2 days beyond that, and it arrived in perfect condition. I was absolutely tickled because I've ordered a couple of plants in the last couple months from a nursery in Connecticut, and they arrived in horrible condition. I've had nothing but trouble with them. So to have this and one other come all the way from Hawaii in such great condition, can't say enough about that nursery. I'll have to put it in the show notes for sure for anyone that's looking for tropical plants. It's a great nursery.
Awesome. Julie has a green thumb when it comes to orchids. I have a completely black thumb. I have 2 orchids, and they have not bloomed in over 5 years.
Aww. Yeah.
I'm not good at plants. I say all the time, like I kill every plant that I get. I got a poinsettia at Christmas. I put it on the mantle and forgot to water it. Like, I watered all my other plants, but that one I forgot I had it.
Yep.
I'm surprised my children made it to adulthood. That's how bad it is.
It's definitely, I do have a lot of plants, not just orchids. I have a lot of plants, and I mean, it's almost a daily thing to just, they're not all in need of daily watering. Some are, though. So I pretty much have to go to each plant each day and kind of poke my finger and see where we are.
Yeah.
Water or not.
It's just a good thing kids cry, because I forget that I have living things that need me to take care of them unless they shout and cry and bark, and yeah.
Yep. So yeah, plants are my other great love.
Well, my only other make that I am currently, I mean, I have other things that I like to do, but nothing that I'm doing actively. I've been hearing a lot more about diamond painting again, so I'd like to get back into that a bit. But the biggest thing I'm into is doing my knitting journal again. I kind of revamped it. Now my knitting journal has hair. I had all of my yarns kind of taped inside on the pages, and it was making the book like this big.
Yeah.
And I will link. Did I do a banner for it? No, I didn't. I will link in the show notes a video from Knits and Burls. It's her knitting journal setup, and she does this with her yarns instead. At the top of each page, just a couple of hole punches, and then putting in the yarn that goes to that pattern. So all of your yarn just kind of hangs out the top of the book. And then when you turn to the page,
troll.
Yeah, little book troll. I was woefully behind on this last year. Like, I didn't put any details. I'm lucky I got pictures into those last few for last year. And then this was done in like August, and I didn't do any other journaling. So this is my new year, and I am doing much better. I actually am writing down things before I finish them. I'm putting the yarn label in. So even my whips go in here as I cast them on, and that way I won't get behind, hopefully. And the finished ones are so nice.
Cool.
It's just so much fun to put them together.
Yeah.
And I just got this new little kit in the mail.
Oh, cool.
It's just a bunch of like stickers and papers. So it's like very thin scrapbook paper. So it doesn't create a lot of bulk in your, but they're just like, they're fun, like vintagey looking. There's a little Starry Night.
Oh, cool.
And then there's like little stickers. like little frames. Oops, that
Nice.
one's coming off. Little frames, little stamps, just like super fun. Like I had my whole desk cleared off and I just dumped all this out and was like pawing through it and finding the things to go on the pages, and it was just so much fun. So that's like my really only other big crafting love is making my knitting journal. But yeah, and that's actually one of my reviews and recommendations, but I've let the cat out of the bag. Knitting journal setup by Knits and Burls on YouTube. Just a really good rundown of how she sets up her journal, and I'm totally copying her like a lovesick schoolgirl. I don't know. But it's perfect. Like everything is in there that you need for your keeping track of your projects, and I just love it.
Cool.
So that is it for me for miscellaneous makes. You got anything else, Jules?
That's it.
All right. Next is stash enhancements. This is going to be a short one for me. What do you got, Jules? You got a lot?
Not a ton, but I got a few.
No? I have one, two. I showed you one.
Mm-hmm.
I have three.
I have 4.
You first then.
All right. So we talked a little bit earlier. We mentioned thread and maple.
Yeah.
And I mentioned that I didn't have my my signature needle arts tips in the other interchangeables, and that's because thread and maple has this nice little, they call it a needle slip, and I really kind of wanted to try thread and maple. So I said, okay, well, that would be a neat little thing that if I needed to grab a couple of needles, because like when you're doing a sweater, you use one size needle for the body, another size needle for the ribbing kind of thing. So if I needed to tuck it in somewhere to take it with me, that little needle slip would be handy for that. And so I decided that can be where my signature needle arts needles live until I need to use it. And so I have not used these yet, but I've heard a lot about them. Unfortunately, I guess the business is going out of business. But they're interesting. They have they're color coded, so each size is different color. This one is what they call their stiletto tip, so it looks very similar to the Chowgoo needles to me.
Yes, it does.
So I'm very interested in trying those. The cord it's not really as unkinky as the Chowgoos, but it's not bad either. It's not as bad as some others. It's pretty flexible. The joins are big. I'm surprised how big those joins are. But it should be a nice sturdy join because it is a good big join. So that is what I have there. And somebody gets one too.
Who gets one?
I have one for Judith.
I won.
Yes. So yeah, I mean this is their chocolate color. They have them in different colors. They are really nice. The leather is nice. It's going to patina well. I can tell it's going to patina well and everything. So I'm tickled. So that's yeah, you too. Yeah. So I will let you talk about one of yours, or do you want me to do all mine and you do all yours?
Back and forthy.
Okay.
So I've already kind of shown another one as well, and that is the two yarns that I got for the baseball sweater, and that's Cascade 220. I got these from Heavenly Yarns. It's our, oh, hold on. There it is. It's our local yarn store. There's a logo. And it came so nicely packaged in brown paper recyclable wrapping and with a little note.
Aww.
Very nice. And I discovered it is way too easy to order from Helen and have your husband pick it up on his way home from work, because she leaves it on a table just inside the door. He just goes in, he sees my name, he picks it up, he brings it home. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
But I really wanted this sweater, and I knew that I would be able to find the yarn that I needed there. And she had a coupon code that she sent to her newsletter subscribers, and it was so reasonably priced. It's not even, I swear I'm waiting for the police to show up at the door any day, because I think I stole this from her. Thank you, Helen. It's amazing. All right, you're next.
I'm next. Okay, let's see. What was the next one? I think this is the next one. So probably heard many times in our podcasts, we love Briggs and Little yarn. And I had no business on God's green earth getting any more Briggs and Little, because I was so full. But she had her colorway of the month, which was this beautiful turquoise, and whose favorite color is turquoise. Close, very close,
right?
Yeah. This is the Heritage. That's the label, and Heritage is their worsted weight. I get this from Maritime Family Fiber. I may have done the banner. I did. From Maritime Family Fiber. They are here in Maine, so they are a local. They have sheep. They're the hookup for Briggs and Little yarn around here. They also had a couple of colors that I thought were beautiful. This is actually on their Tuffy.
Oh, I like their Tuffy.
I like
great socks.
It is wonderful for socks. I think all their yarns are 2-ply, if I remember right. Is that right? I think they've got one that's a single ply.
Yes,
all their other yarns are 2-plies.
I think so.
So their Heritage, that one is, that's 100% wool. The Tuffy is an 80-20. So it's 80% wool, 20% nylon, which definitely helps with the durability of it. I don't know if these have the colorways on them or not. Can't remember now. Oh, yes, they do.
They do?
Take a guess. Peacock.
Peacock?
Very
appropriate. I see that.
And then this beautiful brown color is a limited edition. So, me, limited edition, FOMO. This one is driftwood. And I would definitely say they captured driftwood there. And then this is also a Tuffy. And this one is oatmeal. I thought these two went really good together.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make me a pair of socks out of these. Well, then when the peacock showed up, don't they look nice together?
Yeah, they do.
So I know this is Heritage. I know it's going to be a little bit bigger probably than the Tuffy, but honestly, I don't think much. I don't think it's going to make a huge difference. So I think I still am going to make socks, but it's going to have all three.
Ooh, nice.
Yay! Nice. So love that one. All right. You next.
I don't think I had these on our last podcast, but I think I might have talked about doing this. I have been fascinated by like crocheted or knitted edging around handkerchiefs. And I've been intrigued by the use of handkerchiefs instead of tissues. So I went on Amazon and I found just some cheap handkies. And I got a whole stack of them.
Yeah, because they come like 10, 12,
Yeah, I think this was a 12 pack, but I have no idea how. I don't think it's very hard. I've checked out a few YouTube videos, and if you get a very small crochet hook, you can actually just take that and kind of wiggle it through the fabric and create a little chainette around, and then you pick up that chainette to do your your
Yep.
whatever. So I've saved several free patterns on my Ravelry, and I would like to make myself some fancy little handkerchiefs because this is the time of year where,
The
nose problems.
time.
Yeah, nose problems abound. And I absolutely abhor how many tissues I'm using. So I would like to make, and these are fine, but I want them to be fancy.
Mm.
So,
One thing you want to do, because I had done some of those kind of things back when I was crocheting, a lot of doilies and things like that. Take and mark dots on where you're going to put, so that you get it
yes.
spaced and marked on there. Use like a water soluble marker or something like that, so that you can put your dots on there ahead of time, and that way
Yeah.
you know before you start that everything's spaced evenly. It'll make
Yeah.
it easier.
There's a couple of really good YouTube tutorials. I didn't remember to get their links, but I've been just kind of watching to learn about the process to see whether it was something I wanted to faff with, and I think I do.
Yeah.
I tried to find some patterns for just full knit hankies, like you knit the whole hanky, and there was only one, and I'm not really sure about it, so I think this will be nicer.
What size yarn were they using for that one?
I think they were using fingering.
Yeah, you want to use the crochet cotton. If you something that's usable as like a knitted hanky, the whole thing, it would have to be your crochet cotton probably.
Yeah.
This is much more usable when you use the cloth center.
Yeah. Yep. So that's another new project.
Take lots of breaks when you're knitting with the crochet thread. If you're using crochet thread, it will be on your hands.
Yeah. I'm more worried about my eyeballs than my hands.
True.
To be real.
True.
All right, you next.
Me next. Okay. So I don't know what it is lately. I'm branching out in my color, I guess, or some weird thing, but fiber seed. Let me see if I can find that banner. Oh goodness, I know I did one, didn't I?
No, I don't think we did. I don't think you did.
I didn't.
You didn't.
Right. I didn't with the yarn things. That's correct.
Yeah.
Although I did with Maritime. I don't know. Anyway, fiber seed. If you've not heard of fiber seed, we saw them, I think, for the first time at Springfield, the Fiber Festival of New England in Springfield. That's where I got my fiber stash. And
yes,
I'm just going to show you. This is just beautiful. And I fell in love. This is
you and the Barbie pink right now. It's a thing for you.
With it? Yeah, this is their Valentine's colorway. It is called Candy Hearts. Yep. This is that's their tag. It's their Sprout DK. And their Sprout DK is 90-20. So 90 wool and 10 nylon. It was just such a beautiful color. I thought, I don't really have any Valentine's-y kind of socks. So that's what I was thinking of when I got this, is I could have a pair of Valentine socks, and I might even have enough to make little Kinsley a pair of Valentine socks. I don't think they will be Valentine socks this year.
No. You better get crack-a-lack-in. Valentine's Day's Wednesday, girl.
No. That's not the plan. But yeah, her sock yarn, I don't know if you can really see it, but I love the twist on her yarn. I don't know who she uses for a base, but it is great.
Very tight twist. It's not tight though. It's just compact.
It's firm. It's a the yarn is still very soft and very squishy, but that twist is a firm twist, and I am a huge fan of a firm twist.
Yeah.
All right.
My ear pods are going dead.
Uh-oh.
So my last one just came in the mail today. I've been looking for something to store my scrap yarn in. So I have a really big bin in the closet, and it's constantly in the kids' way of getting to their toys and whatnot. So I thought, if I had something that I could put my scraps in and put them by size, because it's all together. I've got DK, fingering, worsted, it's all in there together. So I thought about putting it in bags. And so I went on Amazon and I found this company, Ithoughtiknewhow, and they're these multi-purpose cotton bags. And they also make all kinds of other things: metal straws, bamboo toothbrushes, like all kinds of eco-friendly things.
Cool.
So the bags are amazing. I think it was a 10-pack, 6-pack, extra large bags.
Oh, neat.
So I think they're going to be perfect for putting like one size scraps in.
Yeah.
Got their little logo on it. They're double drawstring.
Those would be awesome project bags too.
They really would. And look.
Oh.
It's a very little detail.
Yeah.
But it's something I love.
Yeah.
It's just got a little bit of jute fiber and a little cardboard tag. I can put on this tag what weight of yarn it is that I put in this bag. And then I can toss these bags up on a shelf rather than have that big bin, that big tub in the closet in the kids' way. They're perfect.
Cool.
I'm so excited. So I will link the napkin, the handkerchiefs, and the bags. It's just an Amazon link, but I'll link them below if anyone else is interested in getting them. They're fabulous. And it came in an eco-friendly pack. Like, everything about it is all eco-friendly, and I love it.
Nice. Reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. Very. Oh yeah.
Cool.
Very.
Nice. Awesome. I have one more.
Okay.
This one I'm going to give a warning.
Uh-oh.
If no one has received their February Yarnable yarn, look away. This is your warning.
Look
I'm
down.
going to show the February Yarnable yarn. Do not look if you do not want to see the Yarnable February yarn.
Or look in the description box and click on the link for the next segment.
Yes. So I am showing it. The Yarnable February yarn. I am showing it in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da!
Squeak! You want to look. No.
I won't talk about it. I won't tell. But yes, it's pretty. It's, as all of their yarns are, it is very pretty. And
Gotcha.
I'll show you the label, but I won't say anything about it. Okay.
I know you don't.
Okay, you may look now. I am not.
Okay, it's over. It's over.
That's the end of my acquisitions.
All right. So next is reviews and recommendations. All right. Well, I think I already did my review and recommendation, and that was for Knits and Burls on YouTube. That is the YouTube channel that did the knitting journal setup. So I will link the actual video down below. So if you want to check that out. Other than that, I don't think I have anything else. My oldest daughter, my daughter Kayla, got me a Kindle for Christmas. I will say, it's one of the small, like, pocket, I think they call it a pocket reader. And I absolutely love it.
Nice.
It has a light setting, so it's like light background and dark letters, and then you can also reverse it, dark background and white letters. So when I go to bed at night, I can pull that out and put it on the dark setting, and I can read it, and it doesn't interrupt Mike sleeping next to me. He's very sensitive to light, you know?
Yep.
So I can read that Kindle, you know, just a few little pages before I go to bed. It kind of, you know, makes my eyes droopy, and I've been able to get to bed a little bit quicker. That and one of the sunrise clocks.
Oh, yeah.
We had one in one of our hotel rooms.
Yes.
Oh, hold on.
Bless you.
I got one free for using the Well app through work. And I absolutely love it. So I put that on. I keep it a very low setting. And then I read my little book, and it goes for 15 minutes, and it does like a meditation kind of music, and the light gets lower and lower and lower for 15 minutes and then goes out. So it just like lulls me to sleep. And then in the morning, like 30 minutes before my alarm goes off, it brightens until it gets very, very bright. So when my alarm goes off, it almost looks like daylight in the bedroom. Because I get up very early. I get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's still dark, and I have a really hard time getting up. So this really, like, you know, when you go to shut off the alarm clock, oh, it's bright, it's time to get up, and you actually feel like it's time to get up.
Yeah.
So those would be two. I mean, any sunrise clock would work. This, I don't even know what kind this one was, but yeah, that it's a great way to go to sleep at night, and it's a great way to wake up in the morning.
Huh. Cool. I do have a wake up in the morning kind of thing because my orchid lights are on a timer. They come on at sunrise.
There you go.
That's my alarm clock. And they're bright. So yeah, you're up when they come on.
And I don't sleep well in the dark. So, I mean, I have a salt lamp in my room. So, you know, it's not completely dark in my room, but it's dark enough that I still think I should sleep at 4:30 in the morning. So having the light come on is nice.
Yeah. Yeah, that contributes to, what is it, your circadian rhythm?
Circadian rhythm, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. The only recommendation I really have is for the designer of the Riptide slipover that I'm working on.
Yes.
Jennifer Shields Toland. Her pattern writing is just, it's so well thought out, and it just, there's 2 or 3 designers I can think of that when I work with their patterns, they just make sense. As I'm working through them, it's like, man, this is exactly how I would have written out how I was doing something. It just clicks with my brain. So yeah, I have been really happy so far working with her pattern. So
she is so sweet and so humble too.
Yeah.
She was on the Knits and Pieces Knit Chat Cafe a couple of weeks ago, and she's just so sweet and so humble and so gracious. She's so grateful for everybody's purchasing her patterns, and the fact that they love them. Like she seems like a very nice person.
Just very down to earth too.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah, that would be my recommendation this time.
All right. I think that's all the things.
I think it should be.
I think it should be. I think we've given everyone a nice welcome back, right? A 2-hour welcome back. Yeah. And there won't be much editing in this one because this new software, I don't need to edit much. So you guys got your money's worth. The free podcast. All right. So I guess that's it. So where can we find you if people want to follow you on social media, Julie?
Best place is probably Instagram. I'm jules.makes, or Ravelry. I'm Jules Larrabee. And
I am Nana's House 15 on Ravelry, and I'm Nana's _house 15 on Instagram, I think. That's pretty much all the places I am. And here
We'll
on
have
the
to have
YouTube.
banners next time for that.
Yes, we will. So if you hung out with us this whole 2 hours, bless you. We
Yes.
love you. And until next time,
Stay
stay nutty and
and
keep
keep
knitting.
knitting.
Bye.
Bye.